So for the A2C Minnich dowel drill, you need 92.5 CFM per drill. So with the 2-gang drill, you're going to need 185 minimum. We use 2 3/4 inch hoses for that. Remove the Chicago style fitting. Make sure you put the safety lanyards back in. Before connecting your air pressure to the machine, make sure you blow this out a little bit to make sure there's no dust or debris. If that dust or debris would happen to get run through the system, it'll clog your switches, and that can be a costly repair. So your incoming line pressure should be 120, and then while the machine is running, it should drop to 110, maybe 100 to be the most efficient. Also, your feed pressure should be 16 to 22. 20 is the optimum, and you can make small adjustments with the feed pressure regulator right here. You don't want to turn it up too high because more pressure can actually mean that you're driving that drill steel into the concrete and it doesn't allow it to back off to chip. And you want that chipping action for faster drilling. Before you remove the cap to add more oil, you have to bleed the air out of the system because that is under high pressure. So turn your air off at the main source back at your compressor, and then what you want to do is turn the feed in and your drill on. You'll hear the pressure exhaust out of the machine. Then it's safe to remove the cap. This is your lifting bail. We use that to lift the machine and put it in position. It is in this position so that the machine is balanced when you lift it. Do not try to lift the machine with the steering wheel. That'll just bend. We have a low oil indicator right here that shows green when you have enough oil in your oil reservoir. If you see it switch to red, your drill hammers will stop running and you'll need to add oil in your reservoir. So this is the brakes for the wheels. You can release it so that you can move it into position. And then once you get it into the drilling position, that engages pressure on the wheel so it can't move. While these two pieces of drill steel look identical, the difference is the under collar size. The Minnich drills require the 4 1/4 under collar. If you put the 3 1/4 drill steel in the drill and try to drill with it, that air gap will reduce the chipping action of the drill, and it'll take about 5 minutes to drill a hole instead of about 30 to 45 seconds with the 4 1/4. Okay, so to put the drill steel in, simply put it through the drill guide. Make sure it's seated up inside your hammer. Hit the latch. Make sure that it turns one way and not the other. Okay, so if you have a larger diameter hole that you're drilling, it's obviously not going to fit through the drill steel guide, so we have to undo that. And then you can put your drill steel in. Make sure you have the correct drill steel guide bearing here. You want a little bit of a gap around there to keep that nice and straight. Once the drill steel is touching the slab of concrete, then it's okay to make your measurement between the depth stop and the stop pad. So if I want a 12-inch hole, then I need to loosen the jam nut there and then slide this into position. Okay, so that measures 12 inches, and then I want to tighten everything up and secure it. And after we drill our first hole, then we want to take the tape measure and stick it in the hole to make sure that you do reach your desired depth before you drill all your holes. The bed will come level from the factory, but over time, if you need to make small adjustments or you're on inclines, put a level on the rail, and then you can make small adjustments by threading this in or out, and that'll help you get a level drilling bed. Okay, so right now, the drill rails are set at a 15-inch difference. These are adjustable, so you can slide them out or slide them in closer together, so you can drill 12 inches apart or 24. And the way you would do that, then loosen all the bolts on the U-bolts and then slide the rails into position and then retighten them. To raise and lower your drill bed to the desired height, you make those adjustments by raising this up or down, 1 1/4 inch socket. You want to loosen the jam nut first. Spin that down, and then you can make whatever adjustment up or down that you'd like, and then make sure you put the jam nut back in place. So this is your oil reservoir. There is a sight glass on the side that shows your oil level. If you need to make adjustments to allow more oil to get to the drill hammers, there is an adjustment screw right by the dome on top. Obviously, if you screw it in, it restricts the oil. If you loosen it up, then that allows more oil to get to the drill hammers. But don't go past flush on the top of the oil reservoir. As far as your daily maintenance, you always want to check over the whole machine for loose bolts, as vibration will loosen bolts over time. Up here is a good place to check. Around the throat of the drill hammer is really important. These need to be snug, but not too tight. You can actually choke off the drill steel on the inside of that by tightening too tight. The tires on the A2C are foam filled, so even though there's an air valve, don't put air in them. Be sure that your exhaust deflector is pointed in the downward position, because if that's upwards and rain comes in, it'll rust out the entire inside of your drills. Getting the right amount of lubrication to the hammers is very important. And one way to know is if you have a fine oily film here by the exhaust, also right by the under collar on your drill steel, there should be lubrication coming out of there too. Many of our machines will come with a dust collection system right here. Do not run those in wet environments. It'll suck up the moisture and harden the concrete dust inside, and it's a pain to clean. Do not lubricate the rail in any way. That'll cause dust to stick to it and cause unnecessary wear. Inside the drill carrier, we have Teflon pads that allow it to slide smoothly. There are numerous grease fittings throughout the machine, keep the machine lubricated. Please double check that you're wearing all the appropriate personal protective equipment before operating the machine. We do care about your safety here at Minnich.